Good morning. It's Wednesday, March 23rd. It's about 6:40 right now, so we're getting there, but I'm hunting another piece of private land I got some permission on. This is a different one than yesterday. This is over here in Alturas, Florida, which that's big enough y'all won't know exactly where I'm at, but it's a good piece of property. I've never been on it, but it's turkey as hell. It's got uplands, it's got oaks, it's got wetlands. There's a big creek that kind of runs on the east side that has a bunch of big pine trees that border it, which I'm assuming is where they're going to be roosting. It borders a lake. On the north side, it borders some orange groves, and then there's kind of just some wetlands throughout. There are cows out here, which is going to be probably a challenge. I used to hunt a lease down in Passenger, Florida that was a cow ranch, and they make things interesting sometimes. But anyway, we got about a 700-yard walk to where I want to stop and listen. It's gonna break day. It's gonna start getting blue out here in probably the next 20-25 minutes, so we'll make a walk here in a second and bring y'all along. All right, see ya. Hey guys, a little update here. It's about 7:30. I have not heard anything off the roost. I kind of sat up here in the front of the property on top of this hill where these oaks are. There's just some scattered oaks. There's not a lot of cover, as you can see. The cavalry has joined me. I think I'm 75% sure I heard a gobble as far as I could hear that way. The way this property lays out, I should be able to see it. There's some spots here. Let me show you. This is a lot of cow pasture. This is all that creek. I got my deeks out. And then pretty sure I heard him way over there. And it's wide open, so I think the game plan is that's about 150 yards. I'm going to run over to this wood line and then just kind of make my way down to right in this corner where I can see the other edge of this field and see what happens. See if he's over there, see if I heard something, if I heard nothing. That should give me a good vantage point for a long way that way and up towards the orange groves. So nothing happened yet. I'll keep you updated. Also, pro, amateur pro tip. If you're ever hunting in Florida and it's over 60 degrees and you got a long walk, go ahead and crank that thermostat up at the truck. Don't wait till you get set up and sitting down, because then it gets painful. I did it wrong this morning. I got it fired up. Anyway, a little helpful tip for next time. All right, see y'all in a bit. All right, guys, I knew I found them. There they are. There's a gobbler over there. Where's he at? Right there. Looks like 3 longbeards. Somewhat coming this way. I'm gonna throw a decoy out and try and get set up before they get. They're hammering. They're coming. They're probably 100 out in this field. There's a pile of fence posts and a trailer between me and them. When I first saw them, I just called one time. They popped shut and gobbled, so I just shut up. And they're beelining it. Snuck out, got the decoy out, got back to the trees. They're still coming. This may happen.
Looks like it might be one longbeard and two jakes. Got it done, boys. Got it done. On a nice one. He might have been a... Hell, I'll step it off. It was far, but he had drew a line in the sand. Ooh, let me put him down. He had drew a line in the sand. Well, shut up. You can see this. Where am I looking? Oh, my decoy's right there. It's next to some box thing. I don't know. I'm like 10 yards behind it. And he just drew a line of sand right here. And he went over there. And he was coming back this way. And if he kept going right, no problem. He goes left, problem. And I figured last year I made a shot on a bird. Last day of the season in Georgia, about 55 steps. This might be all of 55 steps, maybe a little bit more, but you know, people got their opinions on this TSS. I hate to let one walk if I don't have to, and I would love for him to be closer, but you know, at the end of the day, It worked out. I tried to get some video about how I had him coming in on this camera for half a mile down here, and I look down when he's about 70 out and the damn thing ain't recording. I must have hit the wrong button or pushed the wrong button. Hell, it's lying facing the dirt right now. This self filming thing is not easy. Anyway, let me get them all, let's see here. Let me get them cleaned up a bit and I'll show you them. All right, guys, my poor camera's still face down the dirt. Are you still recording? No, I think I turned it off. Let's put this up here. All right, there he is, guys. He's a pretty good. I mean, first for the season. Got a little wet here, but oh hell! Easy, easy. He ain't happy. All right, I'm trying not to get spurred and show y'all what's going on here. So give me a second. Hold on. All right, guys. Whew. I just went and grabbed my decoy and some stuff I left over there, but stepped it off. It was every bit of 59 yards. Big steps, so yard, 59 steps. Pushing 60 depending on how close he was to this wood pile here. But, whew, you know, again, people got their opinions. You know, some people are all, if you don't get them within 30, then you didn't earn them. And I get it, but, you know, it's a Wednesday morning. I got to go get back to work here in a couple hours, and you know what? I take advantage of them when I can, so I'm stoked about it. I'm super pumped. Let's take a look at him real quick. There he is. He finally stopped flopping. He's a beaut. He's got a nice beard here. It's wet, but it's nice. It's hanging. I'd say all of 10 inches. We'll see. Got some hardware. He came strolling in with them Jakes, and I'll tell you, he was not letting them get close. And of course, you know, we're down here in, like I said, Alturas, Florida, way south of what the NWTF considers Osceola. There's his wing fan. All sorts of broken, you know, bars in here. You got some blacks. That's your typical Osceola right there. We'll collect ourselves and do a little outro, and I'll give you a little bit more of the details. But great morning. Testing. Whew. Let me get sat down here. Oh, I hung him Dave Owens pinhoti style. Hope y'all can see that. I figured put him on top of this pile of fence posts here that he fell next to. Thought it was only fitting. And I probably plastered there's little bits of blood on it, but great morning. I mean, I never been on this piece of property before. The owner is a client of mine, and you know, after looking at the aerial for days, you kind of figure, man, this looks real turkey. And down here in this part of the county, there's turkeys on every property. And I asked him, I just said, hey man, do you mind? Yeah. I said, do you mind if I go out there and turkey hunt? We're still going through design and permitting, and you know, it's about 190 acres. And he said, sure thing, man. Go out there, just be careful of the neighbors and blah blah blah. And let's see. And then I said, this morning, you know, it's not supposed to be great weather this afternoon. It looks like it's going to hold up in the morning. You know, so I said, you know what, why not? I mean, I got to get back to work. I got to get some stuff done this week. But, you know, a couple hours in the morning, you know, you make them up in the evening and it all works out. So I ran out here this morning, and, you know, I hadn't hunted this piece of property before, so I stayed towards the front. I'd asked the landowner, I said, hey, y'all ever see turkeys out here? And he said, yeah, and a couple times they've seen them, they've been up in the high part of the site in the oaks near the front of the property. Okay. So I started there. I'd done some Google, research. There's a road over here. You can kind of get a picture of the creek, and I saw some pines. And I figured, you know what, they're probably going to be roosted right in there. That's a good spot to start. It's over the creek, water source. So I got in there, and I set some decoys up, and I listened, and I think I told you in the earlier video, I thought I heard one gobble. I was about 75% sure, and it was about as far as I could hear it. It was not definitive. And of course, I got mosquitoes in my ears. I got the cows behind me. There's a highway over there. It wasn't ideal. So I get, about 7:30, I got up and I said, you know what, let me go check it out. I'm going to go hug the creek, stay in the cover, kind of make my way over. A lot of this property is cow pasture, and so it's wide open. I get to these pines that I figured they might be roosted in, and I'm like, did I just hear a gobble? I think I heard a gobble. And I listen, no, okay. So I took about 10 more steps, and then, pow, I was like, that is a gobble, for sure. So I eased on up here, and it was about the same direction and location as where I thought I heard the first one this morning. And I got a little shoddy video. I probably will show it, where I'm shaking trying to hold this camera and zoom in at 300 yards. He's about 400 yards across the cow pasture and another group of trees. There's a tree row back here. And I saw him out there strutting. I threw a few little yelps at him, and he hammered back and popped strut, and I was like, he's hot. And I kept looking and looking, and I saw he was with some jakes. I didn't see any hens, so I was like, man, we got a shot here. And I snuck up here to the edge, and I actually used this pile of fence posts as cover to sneak out and stick the decoy in the field. I kept it between me and them, crawled over out, stuck my decoy out, crawled back to the woods, and I kind of got set up about 3 trees back in it. Not a bunch of big trees. I'm a big guy, so I wasn't super confident in my hide, but I got kind of tucked up in between 2, and I was 10-15 yards from the decoy, and they came in on a string, man. I had a lot of it, I thought, on film. I looked down and saw the damn thing wasn't recording. Is it recording right now? I'm gonna be upset if it's not recording right now. It's recording. Okay. Timeout. Anyway, so anyway, I didn't catch a lot of them coming in, but you were only seeing heads and parts of bodies and a fan, and finally I realized, oh my God, it's not recording, and I hit the record button. Finally it's recording. About the time I hit record, they're within 100. Just on the other side of this, they'd be on this side of the pile of fence posts, and then they'd go behind it, and they'd be 10 yards closer, and then they'd pop out on this side, and eventually they were right over here, and he got within 60. He was in 60, and he chased them jakes off, and he's strutting, and you see him shaking because he's drumming, and but he drew a line in the sand. He saw, you could see the decoy. He's 40 yards from the decoy, 59, 60 yards from me. But he drew a line in the sand, and I just said, maybe it's the decoy. I've not had a ton of good luck with the decoy. I knew in this situation, being that this open fields, I needed something visual for him to see, to come to that tree line. In reality, I probably could have just snuck up to this wood pile because he heard me back in the woods. He would have came to check out the woods and probably walk within 10 yards of this wood pile. Hindsight's 20/20. I don't like to ambush him anyway. I figured we'd earn it, so. He'd go to chasing them things, and he'd turn around, and I'd and he'd gobble and turn back, and he'd look, and he chased them jakes off. They ran off that way, and he turned, and he started to come back this way, and I was good. If he swung me to the right, I'm right-handed. I guess technically that's not true, but I had more freedom right. Because I was sitting in these trees, I had a tree right here. So the more left he is, and it's like right here to me. So I would have to pick the gun up and do that. And within 60, he's going to see you. So he started to peel off left, probably to come around me to check me out from the other side. And I was going to be in a bad spot if I let him get left. So I said, you know what? I got these TSS loads my buddy rolled for me. The same load dropped that bird at 55 the last day of Georgia season last year. I said, man, he can't be much further than 55 if he's not 55. and he was standing about where the camera is, 5 yards, 5 yards in front of this pile of woods. And I said, man, you just got to let it eat. Let it eat. And he stuck his head up, and I waited a second to make sure he didn't gobble, and he popped back and strut again, and I said, dang it. And he stuck his head up, and I waited 1 second, he didn't gobble, and he was just looking, and I said, let her eat. And boom. And this is my gun. It's a 20 gauge here, 20 gauge Stoker, but I just put this red dot on here, sighted it in 2 weeks ago. So I was confident, but not super confident, but the red dot helps when you're shooting out past 40 yards, I'll tell you that, because I shot that bird last year with the bead at 55, and it took up his whole head. Lucky, but anyway, he's gonna take a ride back in the truck with me. I'm thankful for him. I really am. I love chasing these birds. It is my passion.